Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today for Thursday morning, May 26, 2022. The man they call Meathead. And, well, he's still lovely, but I'm not going to call him that anymore. It's Matthew Thomas.
Good morning, Meathead. Today is day, let's see, what's the day? Thursday? We did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Was this our day 4 in a row that you and I have had?
Day 4 in a row.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, here we are talking to each other 4 days in a row, and the audience here, and we appreciate the audience and love you guys, but I don't know, I think I'm getting tired of you, but now here off air, we're planning on doing stuff together again, so, I mean, we'll have to do these 4 or 5 days in a row or whatever they are, and then I'm going to not need to see you for a while.
Yeah, you know what, maybe that little special thing that we're planning towards the end of summer, maybe we get the listeners in on it.
Ooh, we might have to figure that out. You know, there are already 2 wheelers in AEW, so
That's right. Well, we might be seeing another one.
There you go. Matthew Thomas's suggestion, folks, by the way, was for me to read morning announcements on the air. I don't want to do it, but I do want Matthew Thomas to tell us the sponsor for the morning.
Well, my morning announcement is that if you want the greatest clothing you can put on your body, at least on your top half anyway, go to collarandelbowbrand.com, peruse their fine selection of garments, enter promo code LindaK, save yourself 10% today at collarandelbowbrand.com or tonight or whenever you happen to listen to this. If you listen to this in the future, I imagine Collar and Elbow Brand will still be as great as they currently are. So this still applies when you listen.
You know, at the end of the show, will still be the future.
And that's right. And if you're listening to this after the internet has ceased to exist, I'm sure there's going to be another way to find Collar and Elbow Brand.
Possibly. You know that sketch out there from Saturday Night Live where the guy calls in the spectrum, and at the end, he's trying to cancel. It's Macaulay Culkin's brother. I forget what his name is, but it's like Bob McCulkin or something like that. But at the end, he goes, "I want to talk to somebody that can cancel my service." Oh no. Hello, I am Spectrum. And he's got those like blinking lights on top of his forehead. That's what we'll have after the internet ceases.
Yeah, that sounds quite reasonable.
All right, let's talk a little bit of news, and we're talking about the future this Sunday. We may have a problem with the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view coming up this Sunday. Matthew Thomas, Tony Khan has put it out there. There is a chance the Eastern Conference Finals in the NBA could go to 7 games, and it could be going on at the same time as Double or Nothing.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear him address this. I mean, I know this has happened before in sports entertainment history, but this seems new that he's actually confronting it head on and talking about
talking about it. He's done it before. He's been aware of it before.
Yeah, and we were talking off air. Apparently, that's how one of your earlier AEW pay-per-views this year went to almost 5 hours.
Yeah, here's the funny thing. I'm glad that Tony's aware of it. I'm glad that WWE is aware of things that happen like that. Do you know how oblivious WCW used to be? Do you remember me bringing this up? Do you remember this? Where they had a Sunday afternoon house show in Milwaukee during Summerfest. Yeah. Summerfest, the world's largest music festival. You know how many people they drew to that damn show? I mean, a couple hundred.
Yeah.
It's, again, just companies not giving a flip about, what's going on around them. No, WWE's always been very cognizant of the Bucks or the Packers or Brewers or whatever's going on in the area when they book the shows across the state of Wisconsin. AEW very aware of what's going on in the Eastern Conference Finals in the NBA. So, again, we talked about it. It was Revolution that he said he stretched out his pre-show, the buy-in, and, that night went about 5 hours. I remember it being obnoxiously long. I hope that we get away from it and we can have a normal timed out pay-per-view this Sunday.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing of it is, I guess he probably is a little more cognizant of it being that he is on a Turner network, in their relationship with the NBA. So, it's a little bit more in the forefront probably for him than it might a Turner network. And then you were just talking about WCW being oblivious to it and Ted Turner. Okay, never mind. My point's not really efficient there. Proceed.
So let's get weird. Are you ready to get a little weird?
Oh, I was born ready.
The Undertaker has a cucumber phobia.
This is not the first time I've heard of it. It's something that I knew and I put in the back corner of my mind. But, we talked about before his relationship with his meals and when he was excited when he got that kale. So I mean, maybe that's why he's so happy to get kale, because it means that there's no cucumbers involved.
There was a story out there that said he was afraid of cucumbers. Undertaker was quoted in an interview. It says, "I'm not scared of cucumbers. I just don't like them." I mean, I like I like the idea of the Undertaker, the biggest badass ever. If you just bring a cucumber into a room, you'll make him a little kid.
I mean, like the taste of it, or like the sight of it, like.
So here's the thing. He said that if a cucumber's in the room when Undertaker's in the room, he's probably going to leave the room. He's not going to run. But if they're whole, that's one thing. If they're cut up, woof, Undertaker freaks out.
Oh my goodness. That's I don't know if I've ever heard that before. I mean, outside of, I've heard it about him, but my goodness, it's interesting too, because the phobia gets worse when they're actually cut up.
Right. And then to be honest, he goes, dude, just this conversation, the hair on my neck is starting to stand up during this interview. The Undertaker, afraid of cucumbers. Well, he says he just doesn't like them. He's not afraid.
Where are you at on cucumbers?
I like them. Matter of fact, my daughters will eat them. I mean, just straight up, right in, no washing, no whatever. They'll just crack right into them.
Yeah.
Now, cucumbers, I wonder if he has a pickle issue.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Man, I love them in pickle form. Just regular cucumbers. I mean, I used to just always avoid them. I didn't have a fear, but I'll eat them.
I like a very crisp, very, just crunchy gherkin or a dill, or I enjoy a bread and butter pickle. I mean, I love that with some ham and rolls on a Sunday.
Man, I can go to, I mean, it's like I have a passion for pickles, but I'm somewhat I'm not crazy about cucumbers. But
are you a pickle juice person?
No, just I just got to be the
people that will drink it.
Yeah, no, I'm not touching the actual pickle juice, but I mean, I'll eat a.
The juice, huh?
Here's the thing, man. I will go, but I don't mind it enough to the point. I mean, I'll make sure I go down if I've got the ones that are already cut up. I'll go down and get that very last one off the bottom, and if I get some pickle juice, I get some pickle juice. But I'm not going to go outside of my way to drink, the set pickle juice.
Okay. Boy, we've already gotten weird here. First, we're talking about the NBA messing up wrestling. We're talking about Undertaker and cucumbers and pickle juice. Now let's go to something that didn't happen.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of pickles, I knew I'd bought just a regular pickle from somewhere, a Renaissance fair that I went to last year. That was a thing. They had one of the people dressed up in Renaissance attire selling pickles. Very good. I mean, well, probably overcharged for a pickle, but it's like a couple bucks for a pickle. Those are good sized pickles, and so the tie-in there. I mean, you can maybe there's some NBA teams that sell pickles. They just hold pickles.
You can get those out of a lot of offices in a lot of grocery stores. You can get a pickle pre-sliced. You get those in those little zip keep fresh seal.
Yeah, I know, and I can picture the guy. Like most of them have like a little pickle mascot on it.
Mr. Pickle.
Yeah, Mr.
Can
Pickle,
I tickle you with my pickle? All right.
Makes it, interestingly, I'd rather have a regular pickle than like a fried pickle. Like many things I like fried, but I feel like pickle in its own.
I feel like we're killing our audience, because this is a morning program and they haven't eaten yet.
But people want to know about this. Maybe some people out there, it's going to inspire some people to chop up pickles and put it in their cereal.
I mean, I've always said, let's tickle my pickle, but let's move on with the wrestling news here. Now, something that tickled my fancy when I read this was, remember W. Morrissey coming out to take on Wardlow on Dynamite?
I remember it well.
He was not the first choice. The first choice was Killer Kross.
I think that would have made big moves. Now, I don't know that it would have been easy to kind of turn him loose like they did W. Morrissey. I mean, I think the demand for him to stick around. Well, I mean, the thing with Morrissey is you've seen him on Impact. He's had his post WWE company, Killer Kross, of course, doing work with Control Your Narrative. But as far as a weekly episodic television show, we really haven't gotten that for him. So I think there would have been a pretty high demand there. So
now the thing is that Killer Kross was worried about his introduction, and they just couldn't come to terms on how it would work out. I really think it was the right move not to have him there, because remember how he debuted on the Raw brand, kind of going through Jeff Hardy. He was the person that they were going to bring in to take on Wardlow was going to lose.
Yeah. No. I mean, you're going back to maybe you wouldn't have had him in his full on garb that he had on Raw, but that's a dude who needs to be booked strong when he initially comes in somewhere.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about AEW's Dynamite last night. A little bit surprised that it opened with the steel cage, but it made so much sense.
Yeah.
Because when you really think about it, the steel cage, Sean Spears, Wardlow, with MJF as the referee, how much were you going to get? I mean, we kind of booked out the match yesterday.
Yeah.
It's going to be, some sort of shenanigans where Wardlow gets beat down. It's a 2-on-1. MJF's going to try quick counts on him. Somehow the handcuffs are going to come off, and then somehow MJF's got to get knocked out for a real referee to come in, Wardlow with the victory over Spears. And we got all of that. But how long could that go? So it being in the main event didn't make sense. I thought they did a good 10 to 15-minute match.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It was paint by numbers wrestling. You could have pretty much drawn it out segment by segment.
We just did.
But the fans ate it up. It was predictable, but it was exactly what it needed to be. And what really captured me with this is, you talk about MJF as an effective heel, and AEW generally does a great job. We'll talk about a segment coming up here where maybe some lines are blurred, but generally AEW does a great job of, they've got your baby faces that are being cheered, they've got your heels that are being booed, and it's a different kind of, I think everybody in that audience absolutely respects and enjoys the job MJF does in his role. So when you get the boos, it's the crowd booing that guy because that's the role that he's playing, and he is doing a very effective role, and he's successfully drawing that heat. It's different than you get in a lot of your WWE storylines where you feel like, it's a little bit of a younger crowd, but I'm going to boo this guy because I really don't like him. It's not that in AEW. Everybody is playing their part to such an excellent level, especially in this storyline, that it just freaking works as straight up performance art.
I got a question for you. I question this segment. If these guys are such bad guys, how come nobody comes to save the security guy wearing the Mox t-shirt? Because a wizard blew a fireball in his eye.
Yeah, that's where you got to suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Yeah, I guess. Well, he's a wizard, and he shot a fireball in the eye of a guy wearing a Moxley shirt. Hangman Adam Page and CM Punk face to face. I don't know what's going on here anymore. I'm not quite sure what the hell this is.
See, it had the opposite. It bought me. It actually got me more hooked on the Go Home show than I've been. I've been interested in it because I think it's going to be an excellent wrestling match. I feel like I had a better idea of the story they were trying to tell tonight, and it is, I think if you went to where you went to last night, rather too quick, you might it would have had a different effect. I mean, I don't know the outcome. I mean, Punk has been pretty much the same Punk throughout this. I think they are trying to go back to a little bit more of the conflicted Page that we had early on, a Page that really quintessentially came out last night and said, this is an ex-WWE talent who's trying to come in and take over, this company where I was one of the originals. That seems to be Page's motivation in all of this animosity and all this personal pin-up stuff that he's had during this Punk storyline. So bought me in a little bit more last night. I don't know how it's going to play out, and I don't know. But end of the day, I'm actually much more interested in this match on Sunday than I was previously.
Again, I'm confused. I don't really know what it is. I know we're going to get a wrestling match, and I know it's going to be AEW, so we're going to get a good wrestling match. However, I don't know what the hell to root for, what to whatever.
Yeah.
It's confusing to me. So I'll just take the match for what it is. It'll be the main event. Hopefully it's not after 4+ hours of wrestling, because then I won't care that I'm watching the match, and I'll just be watching because I have to. But I'm not quite sure what the hell's going on with it.
I think their end result, man, I think they want a split crowd. I mean, I don't know, I just talked about it in the previous segment, but I think they want the, let's go Hangman, let's go Punk chance.
I think they'll get it, but
yeah.
Still, I don't know what the hell I'm watching.
Yeah. We will see when that final bell rings on Sunday.
Moxley and Kingston take on Private Party. We got more shots of the Daniel Bryan leg stuck in between the ramp and the ring stuff. He looks like he twisted it. I mean, I think he had to have twisted some ligaments because that looked kind of gnarly. But Private Party and Moxley and Kingston, it was an okay match. But again, what you got the Jericho Appreciation Society, all of them staying up at the commentary table. I love when Regal says, "Hello, Mr. Masked Man." He doesn't call him Excalibur, he calls him the Masked Man. I pop over that. I don't know why. It's just funny to me. But after the match, JAS jump their 2-0 rivals. But here comes Santana, Ortiz, and Danielson, who is noticeably limping, probably playing into it. And they all begin to brawl.
So little known fact, hello, Mr. Masked Man. That's how he greeted everyone in the store during the pandemic. Everybody he saw, he said, "Hello, Mr. Masked Man."
How long were you sitting on that joke?
No, I just thought about it like 10 seconds ago, man. I was pretty proud of myself. Yeah.
Continue on.
Well, I'm glad to see the thing with Brian wasn't any worse, or Brian Danielson wasn't any worse than it actually was. And yeah, just kind of a puzzlement what happened after Rampage went off the air.
All right. FTR took on Roppongi Vice for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship match. Matthew, I want to hear your opinion first, because I feel that we agree on a lot of stuff, and I want to hear you put it out because I already got my opinion ready. Tell me what you thought of this whole thing.
Little more, man. Here's my thing with FTR. I wish they would kind of streamline a little bit of this and give FTR a run chasing the AEW titles. I mean, the FTR is over. They are over in AEW. It's just you're bringing in additional people that a lot of your AEW audience is not going to have familiarity with, and one of your more over personas in AEW right now, you're kind of taking a route off the main drag there and kind of going this route of these other people that they're now feuding with.
So FTR and Roppongi Vice were wrestling for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. They started off with, what was the ring announcer's name again from Ring of Honor? Bobby Cash or something? Bobby
Sounds
Blaze?
right.
Something like that. And I apologize. I know he listens, but the Ring of Honor ring announcers there for a Ring of Honor Tag Team title match, which is absolutely perfect. They need to pick a lane and stick with it here.
Yeah.
On AEW television, if you're going to have the Ring of Honor stuff, give me a Ring of Honor referee, give me a Ring of Honor announcer, Ring of Honor rules, and Ring of Honor announcer. Now, they did have a brand new announcer at the table doing commentary. He is from Ring of Honor, former wrestler, and now current commentator for Ring of Honor. They also had, again, the ring announcer. They didn't do the handshake beforehand, and they had an AEW referee. Pick a frickin' lane here. What, am I watching Ring of Honor or am I watching All Elite Wrestling? Which one am I watching?
Yeah, they need to figure out some kind of distribution with ROH and segment that a little bit better, because it's just, it can get really, really jumbled here.
In the ring, Hardwood fights back and then goes for the near fall on Trent. Then out of nowhere, here comes Jeff Cobb and the Great Okan to hit the ring. I do know that I don't know who these are. Commentary did tell me who they were, that they're a team from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Again, we have the pay-per-view coming up next month in Chicago, the Forbidden Door, AEW versus New Japan, or just the two companies on the pay-per-view. Okay, United Empire is their name, and they take out everybody in the ring, showcasing the quality. Then they throw people through tables. They take the ROH tag team titles and hold them above their heads. Again, just pick a lane. That's all I want to know.
And honestly, man, I think that as we get closer to this and as you're having to build up the storylines, I don't know, maybe it would be effective to make Rampage that Forbidden Door show for a month and just have it, segmented over there. I don't know. You're trying to tell a lot of stories here, and you just don't want to necessarily do it to diminish any product. And the main product I'm speaking of is AEW proper.
Okay. Swerve Strickland, Ricky Starks, Jungle Boy. Be it this year, 5 years, 10 years from now, we're going to talk about this particular matchup because what really struck me when all three of these gentlemen got in the ring, that's the future pro wrestling right there.
100%, man.
And they're in a triple threat, and they are going to go and do everything they can.
Yeah. And my goodness, and this is not saying anything about in ring. It is the presentation, and it's kind of what I think is the visual silliness right now of the presentation of Luchasaurus. And seeing Jungle Boy away from that, mixing that up with two other guys, I think Jack Perry has got a ton of potential. And this, to me, I could take him much more serious and focus much more on what he was doing in the ring than I can in a typical Jurassic Express match where I'm looking at this guy in a dinosaur match.
Well, good news for you. They're going to be in a triple threat for the tag team titles this Sunday at Double or Nothing, and I believe they're dropping them. And that could be the beginning of the end for the team of Jurassic Express.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think with Keith Lee and Swerve, you've really got something there.
By the way, they are a real team. Swerve in his glory. They've got the T-shirts already made.
Oh yeah, they're winning the titles.
All right. So I liked the little matchup though at the end though, where they brought in, because look at these three teams. They've got a powerhouse, no pun intended, and they've got a kind of a flyer. So each one of the teams, once the three smaller guys got out, then in the ring you had Luchasaurus, you had Powerhouse Hobbs, and you had Keith Lee. I really think that they're going to do a great match this Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on this card that I think is absolutely going to deliver.
Shivani on the stage, and he welcomes out Thunder Rosa. And as she was standing there, I'm like, Thunder's not showing her painted side. Oh, there she goes. That's the Thunder Rosa I like. I mean, the paint's cool for the matches and for the presentation and gimmick, but I got proper Thunder Rosa right in front of me. Did you catch the veiled Sasha Banks Naomi reference?
I missed it. Detail.
She says that I'm here. I don't complain, and I'm here to work all day. And then she put the heat that everyone's putting on Sasha and Naomi, and she put that on Serena Deeb.
Yeah, interesting.
Watch the promo again.
Interesting, yeah. And I think, talking about another match, it's absolutely going to deliver.
Red Velvet in the back, handing the notebook to Ruby Soho about the non-alien Chris Statlander.
Yeah, she's terrestrial now.
Okay, because there's nothing extra about her. Is that what you're saying?
You might have to get a DNA sample to really confirm that.
The double main event, Dr. Britt Baker DMD taking on Toni Storm in the semifinals. There was no way that Toni Storm was winning this. Britt Baker needs to be in the finals.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'll give them credit with the Owens tournament. They've had some matches that I thought Britt Baker was winning, but I wasn't 100% sure. I could have made the case that Britt Baker, with the great reign she had, maybe Toni Storm needed this more than Britt Baker did, but they're establishing the fact that, Britt Baker's strong, and they're also establishing the fact that the person in the main event we're going to talk about up next is really strong too.
Samoa Joe and Kyle O'Reilly in the other semifinal for the men's side. Samoa Joe with the victory, putting Kyle O'Reilly to sleep.
Yeah. Again, I thought this match could go either way. You look at Joe, he's got the ROH title. Again, you can make the case, all right, he's champion. If he loses non-title match, he's got his thing. O'Reilly has his thing. Not 100% sure the way this was going to go, but Joe, after he defeated Johnny Dynamite last week, picks up another strong win.
So the finals for the men's side is Adam Cole and Samoa Joe. The women's side, one half has been determined. It's Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on the winner of Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander. Give me a winner between Soho and Statlander.
I think you're going Soho because
it's 100% Soho.
Yeah, because it's just, Ruby was a big get from WWE, And there's been discussion about, her utilization and her lack of being featured. And I think that's a bigger match, and it's a bigger us scratching our head saying, all right, who's gonna win this?
Okay, so have they done the Owen Hart name and the foundation good? Have they done them right? Have they done them justice?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, from the matches, from the presentation to the vignettes to the tributes to Owen, this has been a great professional wrestling tournament, and I think there's been a ton of attention placed in the seating and also, in the matchups week to week. You had ideas, man, but there's not been the one person on any of the brackets that I've said is absolutely going to run through everybody. And even when we've gotten our week to week matchups, I could have made cases for both participants advancing. I think there's been a lot of effort that has gone into this tournament.
Friday morning, tomorrow morning, we are going to talk about everything AEW Double or Nothing. We will run down the card and give you our match predictions. So for Matthew Thomas, the man they call Meathead, hey, don't forget PWR Draft. A lot of big stuff happening right now. The 3 competitors in the draft do have the opening to make free agent pickups. I heard there might be a trade coming as well.
There might be some really interesting trade negotiations happening. So you never know, especially, I mean, man, you got some eventful weekends. You got AEW this weekend. You've got
NXT
and WWE next weekend. I mean, you may very well end up with an all NXT roster before this thing's said and done.
It's quite possible. So for Matthew Thomas, the man they call me today, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.